So without further ado, I will go on to constituency number 20. And this man here has been in hospitality industry, and he too is standing strong for Bermudians. Him and I talked before we came on, and I was going to introduce him as, here's Marcus.
Thank you, Minister Weeks. Acknowledging our illustrious Premier, the Honorable Paula Cox, JPMP, ministers, members of Parliament, constituents of Pembroke Parish and beyond. Welcome to this town hall meeting. Before I continue, I'd like to recognize two gentlemen in the audience that's been working with me for the last 8 months, traversing the campaign trail that extends from as far west as Point Shears and Ferrylands, and as far east as King Street and Court Street. I'm sure you all can appreciate the wide variety of perspectives that I get on the campaign trail. I can assure you, I spend a lot of time telling the PLP story. But mind you, as the time went on, I began to walk into people's homes, especially farther west from here. I used to walk in backwards because I knew for the first 2 or 3 minutes I was going to get a good flogging. So I thought I'd make it easier for them. But I can tell you this, by the time I was finished and I was able to explain to them some of the, shall we say, misinformation that's been floating around in the airwaves, by and large, 9 out of 10 of them, I left them with a shocked look because they did not realize the amount of accomplishments that this Bermuda Progressive Labor Party over the last 13, 14 years has been doing to make this country the great country that it is. The two gentlemen I want to recognize is Mr. Colin Gilbert. He is the chair, he is the branch chair from Constituency 20. And Mr. Billy Richardson. Not a constituency of 20, but a resident here in Pembroke. These two gentlemen have done yeoman's work to stand with me. We've endured many things, great times, fun times together. Time would not give us the time to express the many experiences that we have been through, but it's been absolutely great. As I've been sitting here and I've been listening to my colleagues, and a lot of them started to touch on different subjects that I had come to talk to, you know, a good speaker is able to think on their feet and make some changes, you know, once they've heard a couple of things and they don't want to repeat themselves. So as I sat here, I'm reminded of a story that I heard when I attended a primary school graduation. I believe it's a story that is applicable for the Progressive Labor Party in this time. Now, this story was for a primary age kid, so bear with me. It's a very simplistic story, but it's an effective one. There was the story about a colony of lizards who lived in the great parish of Somerset, Sandys. Now, this group of lizards, every year they would have a competition where they would see if the younger lizards were able to climb to the top of the pool. And it was such a challenge for these lizards because over years and years of this competition, no one was able to climb to the top of this pole. None of these lizards were able to do it. So it was a festive time, so all the lizards came together, and this one lizard was sort of standing on the side of all the other lizards. And when one of the lizards blew the whistle, up went the lizards up the pool. And the rest of the lizards that were standing around the pool, they were calling out names and jeering all the lizards and telling them, "You're not going to make it to the top," calling them names. And one by one, these lizards kept falling to the ground. But there was this one lizard that stood apart from the rest, that persevered and climbed and climbed and climbed. And for the first time in many, many years, this one lizard was able to make it to the top of the pole. And the leader of this colony of lizards was absolutely astounded because it was never thought that any lizard in their generation would ever be able to get to the top of this pole. So as the lizard came down, the leader of this group of lizards went to the parents and said, "Why is your son so strong and so persistent? And why didn't he crumble when he heard all of the complaints and the jeers and the taunts? What makes your lizard such a winner?" And the mother lizard looked at the leader of the lizards and said, "Oh, it's quite simple. My son was deaf from the time that he was born. He could not hear the jeers. He could not hear the taunts. He could not hear all the snide remarks and the negativity that the rest of them heard. So he was able to persevere by blocking out the signs of all the noise." My fellow PLP, friends and family, this is what we must do. Don't let yourself Don't allow yourself to be bombarded. Don't allow yourself to take in all the negativity and the toxic conversation that's going around about your PLP government. You know what we've accomplished. You know what we've done. We are the party that can claim one man, one vote. We are the party that can claim social justice and economic equality and opportunities for all. We're the ones that have programs and policies and have passed legislation that shows a party that has values. Let me tell you something. This election is not about all the noise and the rhetoric. This election is about values. Values. Do we have a track record of making sure that the majority of the people of this country can share in the economic prosperity of this country? There's no other party that can boast that, here or before, that stood up for its people. We believe in investing in people. We believe in standing strong for people. So let's be like that lizard who could not hear all the negativity. Let's stay on course. Let's stand strong for our people, and let's take the gold in December 17th. Are you with me? All right. Thank you.